So for anyone that's ever owned Twilight Imperium, you know how annoying it is to carry that game around and to store it. Well, we're going to get right to the solution on how you can compact this game into something like 2 of these. That's next. Hi, I'm Gary Pope from Late to the Table. In this segment, we're basically going to go over how well, not exactly how I did it, but how I came across a copy of Twilight Imperium 3 where they had every single thing in that game from the base game and the 2 expansions fit into 2 literally boxes the size of probably Dead of Winter. It's actually the expansion boxes that they fit in. So we're going to get to that. One thing before we start the video though, just to make a note of, the video has some items in it, such as some paper mache boxes that are in it. I couldn't find any links onto how to get those exact same sizes online. I found some things that are close but not exactly it, and when it comes to it, they really fit snug in the box, so you kind of have to get the exact same sizes or figure out your own little formation. So what I would suggest is take those exact measurements I used in the video, go down to your local Michaels or hobby store or box and storage container store, and basically start digging and see what you can find in there, see if you can find anything similar. So let's go ahead and start the video. I'm basically going to run you guys through how I managed to fit everything that was actually, I won't even say because I actually bought it like this, but how I was able to come across how to put everything from Twilight Imperium, including every single expansion, and have it neatly fit into just the expansion boxes, and that's it. So basically in comparison, you are significantly cutting down the size of the space that's taken up in half. And not only that, they're in 2 separate containers, so you can move them around. You don't have to have one designated area take up all the space. So we're going to go through how that was actually done. And like I said before, this was not my idea. I actually managed to come across a really good deal on getting these, and I was skeptical because I was just like, wait, everything fits into these 2 boxes? And then I saw it and I was like, oh man, that's great. And so here's basically how it was organized, and we'll go through what's in each box. So in the Shattered Empire box, let's go through that one first. Let's open it up. And let's zoom in a little bit so you can see a bit better. But basically how this is organized is that it has in this one the main rule book, so you keep that in that box. I mean, the previous owner even managed to even fit in little sheets for everyone, like the tech trees and everything. So the way this is organized, this one, this also has the score counter. And how they had it organized is that they had every single alien race in their own Plano box. I'll have it in the link down in the description below, but the Plano box model is the 3500. I think I saw these online, and these were roughly, they were like 18 bucks for 4 of them, I want to say. I'd have to double check that price, but I'll have it in the description. So there's 2 of them stacked on top of each other. They had the little container that was with the original box that has what looks like all of the planets in one section. Actually, let's go ahead and open it up, just double check what was in this section. Camera in details what it was, but it looks like it's all the planets. That's all the planets. It looks like it has like mercenary cards, more planets, just a bunch of various of the little cards. So that was in that little container. It didn't change from the original box, and they had that stuffed into a plastic bag, of course, so it wouldn't get separated. Okay, and then for the rest of the box, they had one of the races is actually in a not one of the races, but one of the characters is actually in a plastic bag. All the other characters are actually not going to be organized in plastic bags, but you'll see why it made sense why they did that. And they had these beads in a plastic bag. Now all of the planets, actually we'll get to the planets next. Now all of these containers, these are similar to the containers in which I've showed in that other video about containers, except these are smaller in comparison. I have one of them right here. This was a 3.5 by 3.5 and 1.5 depths. These ones, let's actually get the exact size of them. And if I could find a link to them, I'll put it in the description below. But these are 2.5 inches by They're about 2.5 inches, and they're about one and I'd say it's like one and almost and a half inch in depth. So they have all of these pieces inside. These hold all of the chits for like all of the mercenaries, all the trade goods, the fighters, and also a bunch of the other tokens as well, including the dice and the speaker token. Oh, just noticing that's going out of focus. Let me switch that. Including the speaker token and the dice and a bunch of the other chits. And just as a note, they have to keep speaker sideways so it can actually fit in. So that's what's in all of those boxes there. And put those to the side. And then they have a bag full of more chits. Bag full of more chits, and these are specifically, I should actually probably be saying specifically what they are. These are I don't think I've actually played with this expansion stuff. I can't remember exactly what it is, but let me bring it closer to the camera so if you do know what it is, you can know exactly what's in a bag and what isn't in a bag. But those are in a bag. And these are in a bag as well. Can't remember what those are specifically. Those are part of some expansion, but I haven't come close to even playing with all the expansions. I'm actually still trying to play the game enough with just the base game stuff. And this is another expansion item as well. Not entirely certain what that is. Okay, so what's next? So what they also have is they have all of the tiles for the different action tiles here in the center of the box over there, and they have literally every single one's in there. They're all stacked on top of each other and everything. And then last, actually no, more chits. I think these were mines if I'm not mistaken. And these are like the, what were these? I want to say these are like leaders for every single one of the races or something like that. But just so you guys can see it, let's get a closer look. It's probably not the best view, but if you play this game a decent amount, you could probably figure out what that is. And then they have all the plants. They have the 2 special planets here, the ones with the 2 warp points that people can move between. And I've never played with the ghosts, so I'm not entirely certain what those guys do. And then they have all the planets. They have it organized, so of course all of the home planets are next to each other. And then they have Megatol Rex, and then they have all of the other random planets. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe this was organized to where they have expansion planets separated out from each other. But like I said, I didn't go through that. So that was how everything fit inside of the first box. Now, just to show you guys roughly about how hard it is to set it up, I don't have this entirely memorized or anything like that, but I just took them out, so I should have a decent time putting them back in. Shouldn't take that long. But I mean, of course, if you have everything laid out on the table, I can imagine this still taking a little bit of time. But still, at the end of the day, this is one of those games where if it takes a while to put back into the box for how much it helps for you to keep it organized, so then you can figure it out when you take it back out later, the better. So definitely worth it, even though it's not a game you pull out literally like every weekend or whatever. These were here. All these chits. This on top. This was on top. Actually, let me get the other Plano box in. So we have all the structures in. These planets were on the side. Beads. Chits. Chits. As you can see, like, this still is pretty good if I can just still kind of semi-throw everything in there and everything still fits to a certain, like, decent amount. Just tuck those in on the side. Get the score tracker. The FAQs, text, whatever, main rule book. And obviously this isn't a perfect fit because I mean the boxes come all the way down, but I'd take that any day of the week rather than having to carry around the main box. All right, so that's the first one. Now in the Shards of Thrones box, let's see how this was organized. So let's take off this box. Put this off to the side. Okay, so first off, there is, I'm pretty sure this is the expansion book to both of them. That's the Shards. That's the Shattered Empire. Like I said, just like with the other one, they have even more like little, like there's still space enough to fit like FAQs and things for everyone, which is pretty nice. Now this one is just basically the general box, which has, I guess you could say, the bulk of a lot of things. All of these have each of the different characters in them. Not the characters, but you know, player stuff. So as you see, all the purple player stuff and literally everything that the purple player will ever need is in that. Included is obviously all of the units, and then not only that, there's all of the tech cards, the player reference sheet for the units, and everything that you'll ever need for the purple player is in this bag, and that easily fits into just this container right here. Which let's actually get the exact measurements, and I'll see if I can get the exact item in the description below. But just like the other one, this is similar to the other paper mache one I've shown in other videos. This the paper mache one, but like I said before, is a 3x3 if I'm not mistaken, and a 1.5 in depth, while this one's a bit bigger. Now this one, let's measure this out, is going to be, I want to say this is going to be like 4 or 5 inches probably. This is 4.5 inches by 3.5 inches, and the depth of it is roughly about 2.5 inches. So this actually wouldn't work in a majority of boxes, but it works perfectly in this one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of them for all the characters. Isn't there supposed to be? There was the one other bag. Oh, and then 7 was the black planet, and then there's 8, which is this green one. So you have all the characters there, and I mean, just to be sure, yeah, which character is this? This box is tight. Blue, yellow, gray, red, orange. And like I said, there was already black in the other box, and then there's green right here. So that's all 8. There's more planets here in the corner. So this is just, like I said before, I'm not entirely certain if they organize this by the expansions or anything like that. But here's just more planets in this box. There's the green tech cards, which I'm not entirely certain why they just weren't in the bag. Maybe it just doesn't fit as well. And what are these? Is this the one? And this is, I think this is the black characters, tech cards and everything here as well, because there's also a player reference sheet in there as well. Then in this long stack is just about all the other cards. Like this looks like it's all the objective cards, all the expansion cards, literally just about everything. I mean, just to open it up. Yeah, I see expansion. I see, what is this? A treaty card. And oh, these are treaty cards for each of the character races. No, treaty cards, something different for expansion. Haven't even played with that yet. So the political cards. Yeah, this is basically just every card from every expansion for all of the other things on the side. All right, so there's that. Get that back into focus. And then the last thing in this is all of the races. All of the races are on the bottom of the box. So, as you can see here, there's 2 extra bags, I guess, for in case if there's something missing. All the races fit on the bottom of the bag, the box, I mean. And this is literally every single race from every single expansion and the base game. So just like the other one, let's go ahead and see how long it takes to put this one back. This one should be much easier than the first one, considering this one just mostly had all of the base, the characters and stuff like that. I think the most confusing thing might be in terms of how they were aligned in here, if anything. But actually, let's have a reference by putting that in there so I can know if I put things in the right way. No, yes. Yes, I already know I did this wrong. Pretty sure these are probably sideways. That maybe can go like that. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. And yes. Actually, if anything, this one maybe have to be a little bit more precise than the other one, considering that you have to have kind of a specific way. Put that in there. 2 character text on top. Take all of the green characters, tuck them in here on the side. The rules to both the expansions. And there you go. That is how you organize both the base game and both the expansions into just the expansion boxes. And I mean, if you also want, I can also, let's get the measurement of these boxes, just so like if you have a spare box, you can use them just in case if you don't have them. This is roughly about 11 3/4 by another 11 3/4 in the depth of these boxes. I mean, granted that they're kind of standing a little bit right now, so I'm not getting an accurate measurement, but they're roughly about 3 inches in depth, maybe even 2 3/4. So if you have spare boxes that you want to use instead of your main box, you go ahead and go with this option as well. I wouldn't be surprised if you could get almost everything in the base game in a box, a single box that's slightly bigger than this. I mean, the base game box is literally this big, just so it can hold all the expansion stuff, and just so if you want, you could probably put Plano boxes in it as well to organize everything. But yeah, so that's how you was able to fit everything from the base game into the expansion boxes. So hope that was helpful for you guys. And once again, it's Gary Pope from Late to the Table. Hopefully that helped you out in terms of finding a way to get your Twilight Imperium compact in a little tiny box so you can bring it out, or just store it a little bit easier so people don't get mad at you for taking up too much space in your place. So hopefully that helped you guys out. Be sure to catch you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment on the video down below on how other ways you can possibly store this game. This is so far probably the best way I've seen it, but there's probably other ideas out there. So be sure to comment down below, and see you next time, guys. Peace. Bye. Thanks for watching Late to the Table. This episode is brought to you by my go-to place for upgrades and accessories for your favorite tabletop games, Top Shelf Gamer.